when you're producing content, if you're stepping into a new identity, somebody who you wish to be portrayed as and who you wish to be seen as online, the best thing to do is just start. Doesn't matter about how many people watch it, doesn't matter about how you feel, doesn't matter if it was good or not, just start, because the more that you do it, the more normal it feels. And before you know it, you look over your shoulder and you've done 2 weeks worth of content and you're just used to it now. You're just used to it and it's flowing, and you're probably going to start talking about the real stuff that you've got to share instead of pandering to what you think people want to hear. So get into it, start peeling the layers away, otherwise you're wasting your time. Our whole lives we are taught in school that the more time and effort we put into something, the more care that we put into something, the better the result will be. You know, if you do your homework properly, if you think about it, if you plan properly, you'll get a better grade. If you take your time to think about something, you're more likely to be rewarded. There's a disconnect though when it comes to filming videos and making content. It doesn't matter how much time you spend on it. It only matters what people think of it. And so if you're like, when I was talking then about the videos I'm putting all this time editing, you're talking about videos that you're putting time into, if they flop, which by the way, that's a totally different thing in itself, because views are views. If you get views, that's still good. You got to think, you know, people are spending time watching it, that's still good. But if it didn't work out quite the way you wanted it to, it has nothing to do with how much time you put in. You could literally get your phone and make a video right now that would take pretty much only the time it took to say the words, post it out, and it could be a massive success. It's got nothing to do with how long it takes. Sometimes people take too long, they over edit, they over polish, they're being too particular about things, when really the receiving end is someone's going to watch this when they're sat on the toilet or in the queue to buy a coffee. So you don't have to get too precious about it. Just create the content and go for it. Because, you know, when people talk to you in person, you don't go, hold on, I have an answer for you, but I'm not going to give you that answer because I just want to practice it 10 times.
You don't talk in cuts.
Yeah, you don't go, so the best way of doing that is if you go over there and just go, and so click the link over, you know, that's not how we are in real life. So like, there's no over polishing the actual answer in real life. Just go for it. Platform expectancies that we need to be aware of, little nuances that when you're watching YouTube, you kind of expect a certain experience. You know, you expect cuts, you expect transitions, you expect visuals and graphics. If you can do that without paralysing your productivity, then great, do it. But really, it doesn't take much to get started. You can use Instagram, you can use Facebook, you can use Twitter, you can use LinkedIn, you can use TikTok, and just start creating content. You have to start somewhere, and there's no point, like, you don't need to come out with some sort of Oscar-winning video, which reality is no one's going to see anyway, because you're not building enough momentum from producing regularly anyway. So the best advice is just to get going, and you can always learn and grow and make things easier and better as you go, if that's what you need to do. You might not, like the guy that you just mentioned. If it works, you don't need to fix it, you know. So I think we get a lot of success off of I get a lot of success off videos, live videos, where I just roll. I can do that though. That's something that I can do. I've practiced that, I've learned it, I've studied it, I've rehearsed it many times. A lot of people don't feel that confident doing videos like that, so you've got to practice it, and that's why you just got to start. We get a lot of success off those, and then, you know, the videos that you edit, when we do something where we're like, right, this one we want to make sure that whatever we did today, it lasts the test of time, it stands the test of time, it's more of a legacy thing, you know, where somebody might find it in 3 years' time. In those instances, because I'm lucky to have you, and I have the resource of you, Jord, we can make it into that. I think if you weren't here, probably wouldn't do that. So I guess it's just kind of making sure that you're keeping it real and making sure that you're doing what's right for you in the stage that you're at. Doesn't take a lot to just go either to press that camera button and film, or even better, go into the app and go live and film it. Everyone talks about work-life balance. When you're using a social media platform for personal use and you're, you know, posting what you ate, or you at Thorpe Park, or, you know, the you and your family, or a cat, you know, my go-to thing, a cat falling off a table, you know, I say that a lot. It's not necessarily got the expectation of people they're not going to judge that. They're just going to either take it in or not. But when you talk about work, then all of a sudden it becomes more serious in some way. And I think that the best way to do it is you have to share it, because you don't know what work opportunities there are within your social friends network. There's already an audience there. It'd be silly not to just share it. But I think sometimes people pretend, and they've got these two things, and they put this big barrier in the way. It doesn't need to be there. So if I was starting out, what I would be doing is I'd be posting work stuff, and I'd be saying to my friends, because that's the key thing. For some reason, people weird it out, and they start talking like all sort of proper. I would just be like, hey, friends or followers or people, I've just done this thing, which is a work-related thing. I would love to know what you think about it. And by the way, if you know anyone who's looking for someone to film videos for them or someone to create a podcast for them, insert profession here, then tag them. Because they will know people. And, sometimes people won't get it and they might take the mick, but at the end of the day, it usually comes from a good place. If it doesn't, you know what to do. Block. Move on. It's as simple as that. Do not let that hold you back. People get too precious about that thing. Just post it. Post a work thing, but talk to your friends about it. Yeah, that's how you get around that. By all means, share what you're doing with your friends, because that's how it begins. That's how it starts. Yeah. And as a side note, anyone starting a business now that intends to use social media as part of that for their marketing should create a professional Facebook page. The reason why is because that's how you run your ads. It might not be necessary for you to run ads in the beginning. For some businesses it will, for some it won't. But I guarantee at some point in your business lifetime, you will want to do Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and you will regret it if you do not have a page already set up. So get into the habit of just sharing everything on that page anyway. Do a couple of lives every now and again, post a couple of testimonials, invite your friends every now and again. Don't spam it, but just have it ready so that if you ever want to do ads, it's there already.